Hi everyone, it's David from Automotive Press. I have a really fascinating and interesting story coming out of the Best Car magazine in Japan. As you know, they are really good at predicting the future and they have been quite accurate. And the big story is that in the next generation Toyota GR86, Toyota may be introducing a four-door variant, which will be a four-door sports car of that new generation GR86. This seems kind of far-fetched and it is very speculative at this moment. But if the story is true, it could be one of the biggest news in the affordable sports car territory because we've never had a four-door version of the GR86. They are saying that, first of all, there will be an all-new GR86 that will come out in a few years' time. And this time, it will be Toyota leading the design, not Subaru. And that Subaru will then borrow the design to come up with a BRZ or BRZ. So there still will be a GR86 and a BRZ in a two-door format, but this time based on Toyota chassis. And then a couple of years after that, the magazine is saying that Toyota could introduce the four-door version of the GR86 because four-door seems to be much more important than the two-door versions these days. And that could be a really fascinating story. So let me take you right into the article and tell you more about the GR86 four-door sports coupe. So here's the March edition of the Best Car magazine, and let's get right into the details. You can see from the title page that Best Car magazine is speculating there could be two variations of so-called four-door GR86. One is a sedan, so sports sedan basically, and the other one is like a shooting brake, and both of them can be or possibly be introduced for this 2027-2028 model year perhaps. So according to Best Car magazine, there's lots of details here. A lot of it is speculative, and so we don't know how much of it is true. And all I can say is the Best Car magazine has been the most accurate in predicting the future of Toyota models, and therefore there's probably some merit in what they're saying. But this one is definitely a bit more speculative than the other predictions that they've made, and they openly said that they're not 100% sure, but they're hearing a lot of rumors and that Toyota may be planning to introduce a four-door variant. So now let's go back to a couple of some details here. One is that, according to them, the GR Yaris engine or GR Corolla engine, which is the 1.6-liter turbo three-cylinder engine, will be used, but not in the normal way, but it will be hybrid version of that. That's what they're predicting, which will go into this GR86 four-door sports sedan. It will be front engine, rear wheel drive, and again, a four-door style. And that what they're also saying that the platform will be based on the Lexus IS, the existing IS, and therefore it's not actually TNGA-based platform, but a shortened platform coming from the Lexus IS. That's what they're claiming could happen. Also, the new Subaru BRZ will be introduced at the same time. They didn't say whether Subaru will also have a four-door version, but I'm going to assume that whatever Toyota has, Subaru will have the similar counterpart because they collaborate and share the same platform. So Subaru BRZ, though, will be based on the Toyota platform as opposed to the other way around this time, because Toyota is leading the design and development of the new GR86, both in terms of two-door and the four-door versions. Now, what they're saying is that the new GR86, the two-door version that is, should be out sometime in 2025 calendar year, and that will have this same engine that we're talking about, which is 1.6-liter turbocharged three-cylinder engine, but once again with the hybrid system. And that will come out first, and then in 2026-2027 calendar year, they are predicting that the four-door version of the same GR86 will be introduced, and it could even have a WAGON version or the shooting brake version as well at that time. So that's something that I'm not quite sure about. It doesn't seem to make sense to me. But let's keep on going here. They are saying that regardless, the all-new GR86 will be quite a radical departure and a big change. And as you can tell from the rendering here, looking a little bit more conservative. In fact, the front end looks like something out of a the Toyota Crown. So I'm not quite sure that that makes sense to me because it is a sports coupe. But maybe the design theme will be similar just because many Toyota models are kind of carrying that same theme all the way across. Coming back to the four-door variation or four-door prediction, they are very clear to say that they haven't heard any confirmation yet, but they've heard from a number of sources that Toyota is planning something to do with four-door, that they're thinking, they're considering, they're developing, etc. Not sure how far they are into the development stage, but Best Car Magazine believes that it's more than just imagination, it's more than just rendering, that Toyota is actually actively planning for something like this. And the reason why is that so many of the European brands, such as BMW, Audi, and Mercedes, all have a sporty four-door sedans, not just a two-door. For that matter, the four doors are more popular. So it makes sense for Toyota to introduce a sporty four-door in addition to a sports coupe, because actually the four-door version will likely be more popular than the two-door version. So that's the sort of premises, I guess, for their prediction, is that as more and more buyers go for four doors as opposed to two doors, it makes sense to have a four-door GR86 more so than having just a two-door version. Once again, it's hard to say, and I'm not quite convinced yet that this makes sense, but let's keep on reading what they have to say. Now, they have reminded us that way back, many years ago, there was a talk about a four-door version of the GR86 as far back as 2013, 2014 time frame. So that's why they're saying that it's not far-fetched, because there was a consideration for four-door sports sedan in the past. And now it makes more sense than ever because of the fact that sporty four doors are in demand. Also, they're saying that the whole point of having a four-door sports sedan or sports car is to provide the stability and sustainability, and also a high quality ride and feel, something that mature people are expecting from Toyota these days, because not a lot of people want really rough riding pure sports cars anymore these days. Now, in terms of size and dimension, they are saying that next generation Toyota GR86 will get slightly bigger. Not a whole lot more, but it's going to get a little bit bigger than the current version, as much as up to 4.4 meters in terms of overall length and 1.8 meters in terms of width. I apologize, we're doing this in metric because the magazine is obviously from Japan and they talk everything in metric. But the four-door version will be obviously bigger, more overhang, and then stretched out. As much as 4.5 meters in terms of overall length. Width is remaining the same as the coupe at 1.8 meter, and the height is 1.43 meters, which is higher than the two-door version as well. So those are some of the predictions they're making about the size of the GR86 four-door sedan. And they're saying that because of this larger size, it's going to be a little bit roomier inside and more comfortable overall. They're pretty sure that it will be the 1.6 liter turbocharged three-cylinder engine, but with a hybrid system. And they're saying that maybe the hybrid electric motor will be sandwiched between the engine and the transmission to give it a more of organic and natural feel, and not following the traditional Toyota hybrid system. And this is the one I have to kind of admit I'm a little bit doubtful, just because it's a little bit more complicated to do it this way. But they believe that the new hybrid system in the GR86 will use this methodology or this system, because that seems to be the trend with many other Toyota models recently. But this is something we'll have to wait and see. Now, in addition to the four-door sedan, Best Car Magazine is saying that there could be also a shooting brake or a wagon version of this sports sedan, so sports wagon if you want to call it that way. And they say that maybe a year or two later after the sedan, this could happen. And they have the rendering here to show you what that might look like. They are quite open in saying that both the four-door sedan and the wagon renderings are completely based on their own predictions, not based on anything coming from Toyota, and not based on any kind of spy photos or anything like that. But once again, Best Car Magazine has been pretty accurate in the past with all the predictions and rendering and images. So you know what, you never know, these could be based on some kind of photos they've seen or sneak preview they've seen, but these two could also be just simply imagination based on Best Car Magazine staff. Anyway, going back to the shooting brake, they said that it's not too far-fetched because if you go back a number of years ago, Toyota did show a shooting brake version of the old GR86 as a concept vehicle. And that vehicle never became a production model, but it was an indication that Toyota was thinking of doing something like that. In that case, it was a two-door wagon, which seems a little bit odd, but people really liked the design, and it was unfortunate that it never became a true production model. The Best Car Magazine finishes off by providing some additional details. We already talked about the dimension. They're saying that the weight is most likely around 1380 kilogram with up to 304 PS. So this is a metric rating for the horsepower. And overall output, including the hybrid, could be up to 350 PS. So that's a fair amount of power. Again, the front engine, rear wheel drive, and that the four-door sedan version might be out around 2026, 2027 calendar year. And they're inviting us to make a comment, so I'm going to do the same as well. What do you think about this whole idea of a four-door sports sedan with a GR86 badge and potentially a BRZ badge as well, or even more far-fetched, the potential for a station wagon or wagon version of the GR86? Is that something that is truly possible, or is it a crazy idea that is not going to happen? I'm curious of your comment. Let me know what you think. Personally, I'm a little bit doubtful about the four-door sedan, although I can see why this could be an important model for Toyota, and I'm almost 100% certain that they will introduce a wagon version of the GR86. But once again, I don't doubt the fact that Best Car Magazine knows their future predictions really well. So I hope you enjoyed my story from Best Car Magazine, along with some of my commentary as to what could happen to GR86 in the next generation version, and also the additional variant as a four-door sedan or a four-door station wagon. If you enjoyed my video, I would appreciate it if you can make some comments, give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't done so yet, would you kindly subscribe as well. But until next video, or until next prediction, I'm signing off for now. Thank you so much.